back to my channel. It has been about a month since I have posted a video, and I want to apologize to all of you that watch me on the regular. The last video I posted was about us getting our rescue puppy, Gypsy, and the last month has been adjusting to life with her and doing a lot of wedding planning, and so I haven't really had time to film. But today I have gotten the time to sit down and get this one up there for you guys. I know a lot of people on Instagram were DMing me asking if I was going to do a dress shopping vlog, and that's not what today's video is. I did not vlog my dress shopping experience. As you guys know, if you follow me on Instagram, I did go last weekend and I did find my wedding dress, and I was going to vlog the day. There were a few reasons I decided not to. I'm so bad at vlogging, guys. I just forget to vlog. I will just get so wrapped up in whatever we're doing and I just forget to vlog. I'm really bad at it. I just knew that I was gonna leave out chunks of the experience, and I was like, am I gonna have enough footage that's viable to make a vlog? Probably not. The alternative would have been to assign filming to someone in my entourage, and I just felt like that would be kind of a crappy thing to do. Hey, can you film this entire day for me? No, not really wanting to do that. So decided not to vlog. I kind of just wanted everyone to be in the moment, have a fun day, but we were able to take photos of the experience. And so today I'm going to tell you guys all about the experience, and I'm going to put in some pictures. You will not see a picture of the dress that I chose, because if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw that I did choose a dress. First time going dress shopping, first bridal salon. If you haven't ever been dress shopping and you're curious as to what it's like, hopefully my experience can kind of give you some insight of what to expect. Let's get into the video. So my wedding is still 13 months away. So we're almost a year old. That's crazy. According to my not planning binder, there's a timeline in there, and 9 to 11 months is normally when you would start looking for a bridal dress according to them. Of course, that is not a set rule. You can go and look for your dress whenever you want, but the one thing that I will say is do not wait too long, because dresses do take a long time to come in. And for me, this was more just a feeling out type of trip. I didn't know what to expect, and I really wanted to just go a little bit early to start looking, and then I ended up picking a dress. But the whole plan was just, oh, we're just gonna go and look, I'm gonna try some stuff on, I'm gonna see what I like, what I don't like, and I didn't put any pressure on myself to pick a dress, which I think is what ended up helping me to pick a dress, if that makes any sense. First off, I had to pick a salon. Maine has probably 4 or 5 bridal salons that are really, really popular that pretty much everyone goes to. I kind of wanted to go outside of my state because I just feel I would have more options that way. And so I started doing research, and I found one in New Hampshire, just a state over, that was very large. They had a huge selection. And the good thing about New Hampshire is there's actually no sales tax, and so that was a huge driving factor. I was like, I'm gonna save a couple $100 for tax. I ended up choosing a salon called Modern Bride and Formal. They had super duper good reviews, and when I went on their site, I saw right away on their homepage a couple of options of dresses that I really loved. So I knew there would be something in the store that I would like. So I went on their site, I found a bunch of dresses from each collection that I really liked, and I put them into a Word doc, and then I printed that, and that's what I brought with me to my appointment, which wasn't actually an appointment because on Saturdays they only do walk-ins. After I had picked out 5 or 6 dresses that I was interested in, I decided to pick out my entourage, because we had roughly 3 weeks until we were going, and I ended up with 5 people. So it was my mom, my grandmother, my 2 sisters, and my future mother-in-law. So it was 6 of us total with me, and on the day, before we went, I have to tell you that I was so anxious. I had all this irrational fear. I had fears that I would go there and I would find my dress immediately and second guess myself. I had fears that I would put on the style that I'd been dreaming of wearing and I would hate it on me. Fear of everyone just hating everything I loved. All kinds of different things were going through my head. But the day that we went down there, I was pretty calm. We got there early in the morning when they first opened. We walked in and there was a consultant right up at the counter waiting for whoever walked through the door next. So I really wanted an A-line style, something really flowy, very dainty and feminine and classic looking. And I had all my pictures, and luckily she was able to kind of point out where each designer was in this room. It was like a little overwhelming at first, I have to tell you guys. Like, I was kind of really overwhelmed. There was bridal gowns on one side, there was bridesmaids and tuxes on the other side, and then in the front of the room there were the dressing rooms with the couches, and like the people were all sitting over there while the brides were trying things on. And the room was just huge and there was so much going on. It was really, really overwhelming at first. But luckily, because I had chosen my dresses ahead of time that I was interested in, my consultant, her name was Marin, she was able to go and pull basically all of those. And that gave me like a base, of like a starting base. And I think we only ended up taking another 2 from the racks / the mannequin into the dressing room with me. So I ended up with, I think, 6 to start out. So that was a really good baseline. So I highly suggest, if you're able to go onto a salon site and see what they have to offer and maybe pull things you're interested in, it's a really good like starting place. And then I went to trying on dresses. Because I have a background doing pageants, if you guys don't know, a lot of you haven't been watching my channel as long as others. I did pageants for a few years, and trying on gowns is not anything new to me. We would go dress shopping all the time for pageants, and so I wasn't like, it wasn't, I don't know, it didn't feel weird to me to be putting on like a big, beautiful gown. So that was kind of a problem because the second I put on these gowns, I was kind of like, oh, it's pretty, like it's a nice gown, but I wasn't really seeing these gowns as bridal at first, and not really like the entire appointment. So that was just me, and I think it was because I had been gown shopping so many other times in my life that I just like kind of knew what it already was like. It didn't feel any different at first. So that's probably not going to happen to everybody. It probably doesn't happen to everybody, but it happened to me where I would come out and just kind of be like, oh yeah, it's beautiful, but I wouldn't feel like I was in a bridal gown. But that aside, I will now talk about the different dresses I tried on. To give you all a heads up, they are all A-line gowns, every single one of them. I didn't try anything fitted on because when I did pageants, that is all I wore was fitted jersey gowns. And so I wanted to stray from that as far as possible. Like, I always wanted to wear an A-line, like ball gown / just A-line, regular A-line dress. And because I am shorter in stature, I've always worn the tighter dresses because they make me look taller in pageants. Well, this doesn't matter because it's my wedding. So I was like, I want the A-line dress. This is what I want. And so that's what the style is for all of them. I'm just gonna scoot over so that I can put the picture up here. This dress was the only dress that I tried on that actually had a satin skirt. And I knew I wanted tulle, but we pulled this one because of its shape. So this dress, now that I'm looking at it, this one's not super far off to what I ended up picking, but the cool thing about this dress was that it actually had pockets. But as you can see, probably from the back, there's the most delicate little straps. That was something that I really wanted. It had the buttons down the back. I loved that element of it. But overall, this one was just not quite it. It was really, really pretty. My grandmother really loved this dress. It was the skirt. I kept saying it over and over again. I was like, the skirt is just not what I'm looking for. I want something a lot flowier and more like tulle. And so that was kind of like the deciding factor that this one was out. But I did really love other pieces of it. I loved the top of it. And the detailing on it was absolutely gorgeous on the straps, but it just wasn't the right one. So that was dress number 1. Dress number 2 was the one, this one was on the mannequin when we walked in the store, and everyone was like, you have to put that on your body, because it was the style that I was looking for. It had the lace, it had the full A-line, like it was a ball gown. This thing was huge, and you can't really tell in the photos because she actually pulled a bunch of the layers back so that it didn't look as big. But when I took this dress off, it literally stood up by itself on the floor. It was crazy. This dress was absolutely beautiful, and every time I look back at the photos of it, I get a little sad because the problem with this dress was that it was far too large for me. A lot of the sample sizes in the store were like a size 10, whereas I'm a size 2. And so to put me into these dresses, you had to really clip them and manipulate them to make it so that I could see what they were really supposed to look like. And this dress in particular, it was really hard to envision what it would look like in my size. The top was really throwing me off. And I mean, it was beautiful, but I felt like I just couldn't quite envision it, which was a problem. And I ultimately decided not to go with this one because of that. But again, it was also a little bit too much dress. They were gonna have to take out layers from underneath it, and I wasn't really sure overall what it would look like in the end. My size, with layers taken out, I just couldn't see it. This dress was the only one that I tried on that the consultant had never even seen anyone try this dress on. This dress was brand spanking new. And it took us a while to find it on the floor because again, the consultant didn't even know what it looked like really. This dress was so unique and I thought it was drop dead gorgeous. In person, it was like a Cinderella dress. It sparkled in the light when I moved. It had these glittery flowers all over it. I never thought I would like something so glittery. It had these flowers on it. I'm trying to find it, here it is. So this is the picture of the train, and it had these beautiful flowers all over it, and on the edges of the flowers, it was all glittery. And so when you moved, it just sparkled in the light. It was gorgeous. This dress was beautiful. I did not like the top of it. The top was extremely bulky feeling compared to the other ones that I had tried on. The straps were really wide on me, and I felt like it was eating me up. In the photos, it doesn't really look like it's doing that, but when I had it on in person, it felt like it was eating me up. And it just was a lot more structured than the rest of these dresses. Other than that, I absolutely loved it. I loved the shape of it. This one was one of my top contenders. I didn't end up going with it because of the top of it. And they did say that it could be customized. This one was by Casablanca, and the neckline could have been changed to make it a little less plunging, and they could have altered the top of it, but I, again, wanted to be able to see what this dress would look like before I bought it and ordered it, because it was just too much of a risk, in my opinion. I was like, nope, I want to know what it's going to look like, so I'm ordering it. So this is why I didn't choose this one, but I overall thought it was gorgeous in person, and my whole entourage thought so too. They were like, it's really, really beautiful. The next dress is the dress that I went into the shop thinking that I might potentially buy, because I had pictures of it from online and I was obsessed with the back of it, obsessed with it. And the consultant went and she found it, and I was really, really excited. So we actually put off me trying this dress on for most of my appointment, and I put it on directly after the one that I ended up picking, because I was like, nope, I have one that's gonna top this, and it didn't end up topping it. So this is the one, and on me, it didn't give it justice. I just don't have a long enough torso for this dress. The back of it was gorgeous, intricate beading. You couldn't see it because it was clipped up in the back, but it was beautiful in the back. But the front, I just didn't feel it gave me did anything justice. The details of it were just really lost, and I just really wasn't a huge fan of it on me. So that was a little bit of a disappointment, because I really thought this was my dress until I put it on my body, and that's when I started to realize that the one before it was the one, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But the last dress that I rejected was this dress, and she actually put this on me last to kind of make sure that I was making the right decision. So I had already put on the one I chose twice. I had come out in it, I had stood there for a while in it, and so I was really indecisive, and she was like, I'm gonna put you in one more. She put me in this dress, and it was beautiful, I have to say. I thought this one was gorgeous on the top. I loved the top of it. It was so lightweight. It would have been perfect for an August wedding. But I wasn't a huge fan of the skirt. The skirt in real life felt extremely cheap to me. It was a little bit of a mess. The tulle was really like sticky and it didn't really flow. It was just kind of there. And so I wasn't a huge fan of the skirt. The dress that I picked, I'm gonna talk about in a second, and it was like, the skirt was the deciding factor, which kind of sounds funny, but it was. And nothing could top it. So this one I ended up like nixing, and I kind of knew when I put this one on, I was like, wow, I really love this, but then I realized, you know, it is missing elements from the other one that I love. So this one was a reject. So now I'm gonna talk to you guys about the dress that I actually did pick. I'm gonna call it my dress as I'm talking, so you know that's what I'm talking about. I wanted to tell this part of it because I feel like there's a lot of stigma as to like how you're going to react when you go for your wedding gown, or like when you put it on. You have that like say yes to the dress moment where you're like crying and you're like, oh, and you get that emotion. And I know that some people do get that, but for me, I didn't get it. And it was something that I really wanted to happen because I am an emotional person. I'm a Pisces, like we cry over everything, but I didn't get that feeling. And so I'm just gonna tell you guys all of how this went down so that maybe if you're not getting this feeling while you're dress shopping, that doesn't mean that it's not your dress. Sometimes it just takes like other things to make you realize. So I put on my dress. I think it was the fourth dress I tried on. So this is the fourth dress I tried on, and I already had my heart set on this other one that we had been putting on because I was convinced that that was the one. I had seen it online, and the one I was putting on, my dress, was the same designer as the one that I was obsessed with. I had picked that one out too, but I had never even kind of thought twice about it. Like, I was like, no, I don't think this is gonna be it. I mean, it's beautiful, but I don't think this is gonna be it. So I put this dress on, my dress on, and I'm in the dressing room, and I'm like, my mind was kind of already set, like, nope, this isn't the one. Because again, my mind is on this other one. And in the dressing room, under those lights, I'm like, I just don't like it. We were crammed in there, it was very small, so like you couldn't really see the full dress. I could see the very top, and that was pretty much it. And she pins me into it. We go out, and I walk up onto the pedestal thing, and the consultant throws the skirt of the dress out, and my entire entourage gasps, like audibly, like, and so when they all react like this, my attention kind of was like, maybe I should pay attention to this dress. Because again, I had already kind of cast it off in the dressing room. I hadn't really been paying much attention to what it looked like. And my whole entourage had not had this reaction yet. Everything had come out and they'd been like, oh wow, that's really beautiful. But they hadn't gasped, like audibly gasped at me in this dress, in any dress. And so I'm standing there and I start to kind of look at it, and we're talking about the details of it. And we're looking at the skirt, which was easily the most intricate and beautiful of all the ones I put on. At first, you know, I was like, yeah, but I really want to try on the other one because my mind was still there. Even though my mom and my grandmother and everybody was obsessing over this dress, I was like, okay, but we're gonna top it, we're gonna top it. I kept saying that, I'm like, we're gonna top it. So I had taken it back off. I went and tried on the one that I thought I was gonna love. I came out in it and there wasn't the same reaction, and I, in my heart, was like, this one's not as flattering on me by a long shot. I just knew, I'm like, no, this is not the one. The second I stepped onto the pedestal, I was like, I definitely like the other one more. So we had, I think, 2 more after that to try on. So I did that, and again, every time I would put on a different dress, it just wasn't topping my dress. So I put my dress back on again, stood there for a while, looked at it, got a view of the back. She unclipped me and held it so that I could see what the back would look like when it fit me properly. You know, was showing me how we would bustle it and all that. And the more I stood there in that dress, the more I started to get this really happy feeling. Like, I love it. I really do love it. Again, second guessing myself totally because I didn't think I would find a dress at the first store, and I also thought it was gonna be a different dress that I picked out. And here I am standing in this dress that, you know, is beautiful, but like wasn't originally what was in my mind. And I'm like, oh, like I think this is the one, but I just couldn't tell. So she finally puts me in one more that I already showed you, the really lightweight one, which briefly confused me until I started really looking at like the details of it and the skirt, and I was like, no, you know what? I kept saying I like the other one's skirt more. I like the top of it more. I think it fits me better. I kept saying it over and over again. And finally my mom was like, I think you should put it back on. So I did. I put it back on, and the consultant was like, do you want to put on a veil? Which I knew at this point, I knew the veil was going to be that seal the deal moment, because like we see that on TV, you hear about it, that the veil is what really finally like makes it click. So she put the veil on. When I walked out again, I just like look at myself and I see the veil, and that's when I kind of felt like, okay, it's a bridal gown. Because like I said earlier, this had just felt like a normal gown. Like this whole time, everything had just felt like a regular gown. It hadn't felt like a bridal gown. And now I have this veil on, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can see it. And then she's like, okay, well, wait a minute. I have a better veil that matches the dress. So she went and she got this other veil. She put that on me, and I just like fell in love. I fell in love. I did not cry. My mom didn't cry. Nobody cried. We were all just really happy. We were all just excited. My mom was like, it is absolutely beautiful. Seeing their reactions kind of even sealed the deal for me. Like I felt just as equal as them, but just seeing how excited they were looking at this dress, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is the one. And I think in my mind, I was just going, this isn't how it's supposed to go. I'm not supposed to get it on the first shot. I'm not supposed to be able to pick it out on the first shot. But my mom was like, you know, we don't have to get it today. You can get it a different day. You can come back. But she's like, do you see yourself putting on a dress like anywhere else and it topping it? And I honestly looked at her and I was like, no. I was like, I can already see that I'm just gonna always compare to this dress. And she was like, okay. And that was when I knew. I was like, no, this is the one. Done. I said yes to that dress. I bought it that day. I bought my dress myself, and I got the veil as well, which I brought home with me. The veil is drop dead gorgeous. It's at my mom's house, if I can't show you guys, but it is lace appliques on it, and oh my god, it's beautiful. It's like exactly what I wanted in a veil. It matches the gown perfectly. And the other best part was that everything together was under budget. So I was a very happy girl that day. So that was my experience. It was awesome. My consultant was great. She listened to me. She never tried to force me to like try on anything that I didn't like. The shop itself, none of their gowns were more expensive than $2,400. So pretty much everything I tried on, was in my budget. And that made me feel really good. And everything was pretty much well under budget. So I highly suggest, asking what a shop's price range is. It said theirs online, which was another deciding factor as to why I picked that salon, was that I knew going in there that there wasn't anything that was going to be crazy expensive that I might put on and then not want to pay that much for. So it was really nice to be in budget and love what I was putting on. If you live in the New England area, Modern Bride and Formal, it's in Bedford, New Hampshire, highly suggest, highly. Like cannot recommend them enough. So that was my experience. I cannot wait to get my dress. Like it's coming in, I believe, in 6 months in December. So I'm gonna get it and it's gonna be my size, and I'm excited. So that was my whole experience. Sorry, this was kind of a long video, but I haven't filmed in a while and I was dying to tell you guys all about this. If you guys have any questions pertaining to the experience that I didn't cover, please leave them down below. Tell me about your bridal experience, like how did dress shopping go for you? When are you going dress shopping if you haven't yet? What are your plans? What kind of style dress do you want? And I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you like my content, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and click that little bell so you know when I upload. I plan on doing an update on our puppy soon. She's 6 months old today. So I gotta go take a picture with her little sign, and she's just loving life. She's living it up, living her best life. So we'll do an update on that real soon, and I have a few more wedding videos coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!